Welcome and hello. This is a video lesson in WRIMS, and in this lesson we're going to be talking about debugging. This is the second video on debugging, part 2. The first video is part 1, that's lesson 17. I'll go ahead and link that in the description. But in this video we're going to be tackling the following topics in order: different solver types, and fixing errors in the middle of a simulation, conditional breakpoints, and finally variable reference search. So let's go ahead and get started. What I have on the screen here is my WRIMS interface. I'm going to be using this L21 debugging project I have loaded up over here in the Project Explorer. And the first topic is running different solver types and even changing the solver type in the middle of a simulation run. So if you click on the console tab right here, the current selected solver type is going to be down here in the bottom left corner, which says CBC. You can change the solver type by going up to Run and then Options. And then in this first tab here for General, it says Solver CBC. So I can change that to XA, click OK. It changed down to XA over here in the bottom left corner. XA is the proprietary solver. I don't have access to Run, but just so you know, the CBC is the default solver, which I always use. So let's switch that back to CBC. Okay. And then click OK. Now, if you're running your simulation and for whatever reason want to stop the simulation in the middle, like by setting a breakpoint and then changing the solver type, you can do that as well. I'm going to set the cycle to 1, and then I'm going to set this to a specific date time within the simulation. So that's ready to go. I'm going to right click on, let me open up the project first. And then I need to right click on the launch file and then click on debug as. Okay. So that should run up for about the first year or so. All right. So we ran for about a year and now it's paused. That's what it says down here in the console log. If I wanted to change the solver type, there's nothing stopping me from right now going up to Run, Options, and then changing the solver to XA. And then I need to click on Resimulate after that. So I'm not going to do that because I don't have XA. But if I wanted to do that, make that change, I could go then up to Run and then Resimulate. And then from this dialog box, select either the first cycle of the year, the cycle, and a few other optional checkboxes, and then click OK. All right, so it just resimulated that one cycle, and it looks like it's still in debug mode. If I go up to Run and then Resimulate, I'll try clicking on Cycle now, and then OK. So we'll just go ahead and click the play button, and then that finished up the simulation. All right, the next topic is fixing errors in the middle of a simulation. So if you're running your simulation in debug mode and you get an error message, you can go ahead and just click on the link in the console, which will take you to the file and to the location within that file where the error occurs. I think this is a very helpful tool if you can't find the problem yourself. Let's go ahead and create a problem within the file and then run it, encounter that error message, and then go ahead and fix it from there to demonstrate what I'm talking about here. In my project, I'm going to rename a field name in one of my tables. So I'm going to click on Lookup, and then let's open up this table right here. Okay, here is the table. I have a field for month, target min, and target max. I'm just going to call target min DDD, which doesn't have a reference in the code. So it's going to be looking for a target min field, but it won't be able to find it because I just renamed this field reference. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save that, and then I'll close that. Now let's go ahead and run. So right click and debug as. This is the launch file I did a right click on. Oh my gosh, what happened? We have an error. So right down here, we have an error. It says error paused. This is the first time step. If I scroll over right here, it gives me some more details. Error T-res1 min target min in the selected statement is not a field name in table 1 res1 data. Okay, so we know that's the case. So all I need to do is click right here. And what it does is it opens up my reservoirs.russell file. This is where I'm looking up that T-res1 min data. So here's the query statement. Select target min from res1 data. Target min doesn't exist. It's now DDD. I actually don't want to change it here in the source code because this is correct. Let's go back to the table and change it there. So again, here is that table. Let's fix that, save, then I'll move that back. And then what I want to do here is come up to the Run menu, Resimulate, and what I want to do is click on this Reload Lookup Table. If you happen to make changes to the tables, you want to check this checkbox. If you happen to make changes to the Russell code or to the state variable .dss file, SV file, you're going to want to go ahead and check those checkboxes as well. Okay, so this looks good. I'll just go ahead and click OK. Okay, so it looks like we successfully ran that one cycle. Now I'll just go ahead and click the play button, and the rest of the simulation has completed. All right, the next topic is conditional breakpoints. So as you're debugging, you may want to keep track of certain variable values during the simulation, and you may want to be able to stop the simulation when a certain condition has been hit, not necessarily a certain time, which we have access to by setting the date time breakpoint up here at the top for year, month, day, and cycle. So for instance, let's go ahead and take a look at some of our data. What I have on the screen is my decision variables from that simulation. Let me just go ahead and refresh real quick. Okay. What I have in this path is the storage in my reservoir 1. So if we take a look at the plot, we get an idea of some of the values. It starts at about 50,000 acre feet, and then it ramps up to about 65. And it looks like each year it sort of oscillates between 55 and 65 more or less. Let's go ahead and add a conditional breakpoint to our code, which will stop the simulation as soon as the storage in the reservoir exceeds, how about 62,000 CFS, which is right here, which we would expect to occur early 1922. So to do that, let's go back to our RIMS. I'm going to click on Run and then Conditional Breakpoint. Now, what we need to do is type in some sort of expression that will evaluate to true or false. And then it'll be checked every single time step. And then once it's true, it will break for debugging. So I'm going to go s underscore res1 is greater than, what did I say, 62. So with this saved in the conditional breakpoint, I'll click OK, that saves it. Okay, one more thing I need to do is change it to a different, how about, I only have one cycle, so if I change it to cycle 2, it won't be stopped based on this date time. So I'll just go right click and then we're ready to run, debug, and go. So it looks like, yeah, March of 1922 is when it stopped. And the message here says that the conditional breakpoint of sres1 is greater than 62.0 has been reached. And that's when it's paused. I'm going to go to run and then resimulate and then OK. All right, I'm going to go ahead and click the play button. And then it looks like it did another breakpoint because that condition is still true. Now we're in April. And then, oops. Okay, so whenever I click on this, it doesn't let me just click the play button again. So I have to go up to run and resimulate. Okay. Okay, so here's March. Here's April. Here's May. If I click doing this, okay, here's April of the next month, or sorry, the next year. So this is only going to stop when the reservoir storage is above 62,000 acre feet, which it looks like it's happening about 3 months out of the year. So this is March 1923, May 1923, and now we're on to March 1924, April 1924, May 1924, May 1925. Okay. Something else I can do, say, for instance, if I wanted to change the breakpoint condition during the simulation, I can do that as well. So right now we are in March of 1926. Let me take a look at the table data real quick. Here's March of 1926. Sure enough, the storage is 63.3, 65.5, 63.3. Let's do a new condition where I say when the reservoir storage is below 57, which should take place right here, September of 1926. So let's see what that looks like. I'm going to go back to my RIMS, click on Run, Conditional Breakpoint. And what I'm going to do is just change this. So I'll use the same variable, sres1, except less than 57.0. Okay. So I'll click OK. Then I'll click the play button. It looks like a few months have passed, and now we're down to September 1926, which was the next month in the simulation, which satisfies that condition of the storage being less than 57,000 acre feet. All right, so that is how to create a conditional breakpoint. You can also delete the conditional breakpoint by going up to Run, Conditional Breakpoint, click the Clear button, or another way to do it is to just go Run and Clear Conditional Breakpoints. That did it automatically. So if I click on Conditional Breakpoints, poof, it is gone. All right, the last topic for this lesson is variable reference search. So say, for instance, you have a variable in your code and you want to know where else in your code that specific variable is being used. To do that, I'm going to demonstrate using a variable in my reservoirs file, the same storage that we were looking at earlier, storage in reservoir 1, and then reservoirs. I'm going to double click reservoirs. Okay, it's already open. So here's where I'm defining sres1. What I'm going to do is right click and then come down here to find references. And then boom, what happened is it did a search on this variable. Down here in the console window, I'm sorry, it's the search tab has been selected, and I'm seeing 3 separate files. These are all Russell files where that particular variable has been used. So if I wanted to just scroll down, I can go through each of them one at a time. And these are all in that constraints.russell file. So it looks like it's also opening up the file, and then I can just click on the down arrow or the up arrow to toggle through the different references. So right here, it's used in a soft constraint. And then if I scroll down, another soft constraint. Here it's in the objectives file. So that's right here. See if I click down, there we go. I can also click this plus button to expand all the references or collapse all the references or perform a research right there. Okay, so that's how to find the variable and where it's used in all the different files within your program. One thing to point out is that using this variable reference search, it's performing a search for just this variable name, not a substring within a larger variable name. So for instance, if I had, say, sres1 underscore zone1 as a variable, this particular reference search would not find it, but the regular search would. So it's not a substring search. It's s underscore res1, nothing more, nothing less. So it's a little bit more of a refined search when you're looking for your variables. All right, well, that was all I had prepared for this lesson in debugging part 2, where we talked about the different solver types, fixing errors in the middle of a simulation, conditional breakpoints, and finally variable reference search.